YouTube here, going to talk about all things Dragon Ball. And the reason I'm doing this is because I recently rewatched Dragon Ball, the original, and I'm now on the first dozen episodes or so of Z. But every time I rewatch Dragon Ball, I'm pleasantly surprised by how freaking great it is, and that's awesome. So I came across this tier list in the tier list generator, and I figured I might as well just tackle this and try and make this quick for you guys. But bottom is Kill with Fire, top is Perfection, and it says Saga for each of these. Some of these aren't sagas. Some of these are like 5 episode arcs. But we'll take these one bit at a time, and it goes in chronological order. But Emperor Pilaf Saga, that's the beginning. Ends with the Oolong Wish, but it's pretty good. Reason why I have it good and not great or perfection or not okay or bad is the great stuff in it's the beginning when we're introduced to all of the Dragon Ball characters, specifically specifically Goku and Bulma. That is fantastic stuff. But when it gets really wonky is at the tail end, and I would say the last 10 to 15 episodes of this show, this quote unquote saga are pretty rough. First tournament, pretty great. I wouldn't say perfect, but there's a lot of build up to it, which is great, and it has among the best endings of any saga in all of Dragon Ball. I would just say there are some weak parts in it, particularly in the early tournament parts. Okay, so this says Red Ribbon Saga. I normally equate that to all the general stuff too, but this ends before we meet the generals, so I would say that's it's pretty good. Mainly the Muscle Tower stuff's pretty good. Prior to it, like the big battles and Pilaf stuff with was it Major Silver, as pretty weak stuff. General Blue, I don't like the General Blue stuff. Pretty okay. General Red, it's pretty good. General Red. It'd be great if it weren't for all the repeat stuff they use in animation, but why I like it so much is the twist ending. I won't ruin it for you if you haven't watched Dragon Ball, but good writing there. Good writing. Baba's tournament, not tournament, whatever it's called. When Baba had the fighters fight the undead guys. Bad. It's not necessarily trash, but there are parts where it could be much better. Second tournament with Tien, Perfection. It's the best. One of the best. It's among the best of all of Dragon Ball. How it ends is fantastic. Yeah, that's the thing. I just one quick comment on Dragon Ball is that's what it does really well. Tournaments. Piccolo, Perfection. King Piccolo, that is. His dad. Really, really great stuff. Beginning of it, how it starts. And again, I won't ruin it for you if you haven't watched the original Dragon Ball, but how it starts is it's like a whiplash, and then how it ends is fantastic as well, and it keeps going. Piccolo Junior Saga, again, great. And a lot of people think that the Goku Vegeta fight in Z, the first one, is the best fight in the series, and I would contest and argue that that is a beat for beat remake of the Piccolo and Goku fight in that series. This says Raditz Saga. I mean, Raditz is a 5-episode arc. It's not a saga, but Raditz Saga is pretty good. What it does really well is introduce. You know what? Actually, I might pump it up to great, because what it does so well is it introduces so many concepts in such a short amount of time, and it has balls because Goku is our hero for this much of this show, all 200 or so episodes of Dragon Ball, and he dies at the end of the Raditz arc, thanks to Piccolo. And we're also introduced to Gohan, who is pretty central to all of Dragon Ball Z. I would argue that. And here's where it gets tricky. It does not talk, this tier list maker doesn't talk about Snake Way, or Gohan training out in the wilderness. That's a saga in itself. Raditz dies in episode 5, and the Saiyans don't arrive until like episode 18. So everything in between there, I'll just say is pretty good, because Gohan growing up is really important. But now we get to the Saiyan saga, which I will put here. There's so many moments that work so well in the Saiyan saga. Specifically, Piccolo sacrificing himself to save Gohan. Goku Spirit Bomb moment, the beam struggle between Vegeta and Goku, fan-freaking-tastic. Among the best in all of Dragon Ball. Okay, Namek Saga. So this would include traveling to Namek, collecting the Dragon Balls, and everything leading up until right before the Ginyu Force arrives. I love this part of Dragon Ball Z because Vegeta is wrecking stuff. Vegeta is killing all the henchmen, and the stuff with the Doria and Zarbon chasing Gohan and Krillin around is pretty great too. But it's, again, the beginning part of them traveling to Namek's pretty weak, and that detracts from it a lot. But overall, still a great product. The Ginyu Force, it's pretty great. The fight between Vegeta and Raccoon is criminally underrated. Goku arriving and easily dispatching with Raccoon, again criminally underrated, but it kind of falls apart at the end, and that's why I put it down at great. Okay, Frieza Saga. This in itself would be a saga because this is a lot. It's pretty great. A lot of people are dumbfounded by me not putting in perfection. Yeah, Goku going Super Saiyan is perfection. Took him a lot to get there. Vegeta dying and everything didn't push him over. It took Krillin dying to do it. A lot of fans speculate about this a bunch, but I think big part of why is Krillin couldn't be wished back a second time by the Dragon Balls on Earth. So Goku really thought that was Krillin dying for real, and now Gohan was at risk and everything. So yeah, that's fantastic. But there's so much filler of the fight. It's the third longest fight in anime history. And the actual longest fights, the two longer fights, which aren't even in Dragon Ball, Naruto and One Piece, by the way, are only longer because they're mainly filled with flashbacks. This is the longest uninterrupted fight in anime history. And it really didn't need to be. There's a couple episodes which could be gone. Okay, don't even need to say it. Kill it with fire. Garlic Jr. Saga didn't need to exist, and it's terrible. Trunks Saga, again, not a saga because it's like 5 episodes, but perfection. Maybe the best example in all of anime, where you have a character who is being introduced by dispatching the prior arc's villain with ease. And then he comes and says, the next villains are way stronger than me. And so that's pretty excellent. Okay, Android Saga. I'm going to put it up here among Toriyama's best writings. And I actually really enjoy 17 and 18. It's really refreshing to have a villain kind of be nonchalant about everything. Where did you go? No, come back. No, let's keep in order. Okay. Okay, the Imperfect Cell Saga. Perfection. Okay, again, this separates it into chunks. This ends right when Imperfect Cell finds the androids, but that's why I have it so high, because him drinking people is fantastic. This is maybe the best example of a scary villain in Dragon Ball that is established as something you should fear, and that's awesome. Okay, now we get right to Perfect Cell Saga. So I have to say great. I guess I would include the Vegeta fight with Imperfect Cell, and the Android 16 fight with Imperfect Cell. Vegeta with Semi-Perfect Cell. But I'd knock it down a bit because, there's like a couple episodes which did not need to happen, very fillery, and the whole 10 days before the tournament didn't feel like it needed to happen. Okay, the tournament saga. So this is, again, kind of confusing because they're using the picture of Gohan's beam struggle. But I'm going to put it here. A lot of people are upset at me of this because Gohan going Super Saiyan 2 and then the beam struggle are among the best moments in all of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. But I have to knock it a bit because it's so frustrating to me that Toriyama couldn't at least explain better how Cell knew how to do instant transmission. I perfectly accept Cell regenerating from body parts, that are just sprayed everywhere from self-destructing. But I don't like instant transmission out of nowhere. Although I do agree the stuff afterwards with the beam struggle is fantastic. Okay, the fight with Pycon in the tournament in Otherworld, Kill It With Fire, didn't need to happen. It never happened. It's not in the canon. It's filler. Okay, Great Saiyaman. It's okay. A lot of people hate it because of Gohan being neutered, but I have an entire video about how Gohan became the person he wanted to be. And that's okay. He's, one of his first lines in all of Dragon Ball Z is, "When I grow up, I want to be an orthopedist." He doesn't want to be his dad. He never wanted to be his dad. And he only becomes his dad when he has to. When his dad's not around, he goes back to being himself. And that's okay. Okay, this isn't, again, not a saga. This is the fight afterwards, which is like Spopovich beating up Fidel and Yamu taking Gohan's energy, and then everything leading up until the Supreme Kai bringing the Z Fighters over to Babi's ship. It's okay. It's not Toriyama's best writing, but it's what it is. It's nothing great, but it leads us up to this, which is the Majin Vegeta arc. I refuse to say saga, but Majin Vegeta is among the coolest stuff ever happens in Dragon Ball Z. The moment where he kills all the fans in the stadium to entice Goku into fighting him, the entire fight with Goku is fantastic, and Vegeta's sacrifice at the end is culmination of all things Vegeta, and that's Amazing. Okay, Fat Boo Saga. Bad. It's bad. Toriyama was done, honestly, after the Cell Saga, but Toei was like, please keep going. And he was like, okay, I'm just going to throw everything into a basket, and then you're going to like it. And on the page, the manga, it's actually pretty good, but in the anime, it's so cartoonish. It's exhausting. And it's not even like wholesome like Dragon Ball is. It's just annoying. Okay, so this says Fusion Saga. I don't know what that includes. Obviously the Vegito stuff, but does that mean it starts with Gotenks and include all of Super Buu? I don't know. I'm gonna say okay, because again, Toriyama just threw everything in a basket. Doesn't really have direction. Doesn't know where to go, and it's kind of annoying. Okay, Kid Buu Saga. This is where it actually gets good. The fight with Kid Buu on the Supreme Kai planet is pretty great, and I'm pretty stoked on that. Okay, so now we get to... Oh no, this is the end of Z. The end of Z, by the way, which... And I know Toriyama had to do it to introduce Oob, but jumping so far in the future, not a fan of that. I don't really like how Z ended, and also, but that's just a personal preference, and I shouldn't let that affect my objective point of view. It's too subjective of me, but it's okay. I'm not gonna say good. I wanted more. Like there is that picnic episode, which totally is like a throwaway. It's like, come on, this is the end of the show. What? It's just a big party. And I wanted so much more for an ending. I didn't get it. Okay, so here we get into the dark territory. Dragon Ball GT. Kill Fire. Honestly, the first season of Dragon Ball GT is so bad. It's not good. It's really not good. Objectively, it's bad. It's... Okay, so... Okay, more context on GT. Toei wanted Toriyama to keep going. Toriyama was like, look, I'm exhausted. Stop. I'm done. And Toei is like, okay, well, we'll still pay you if you design stuff for us. And he's like, okay, cool, money, great. But Toei tried so hard to recreate the magic of Dragon Ball and got none of it. It's not wholesome like Dragon Ball. The action's not great like Dragon Ball Z. It's just bad. Okay, the Baby Saga, though, is great. The Baby Saga is the best of GT. And if GT was like the Baby Saga, I would watch it all the time. But it's not. Baby Saga is great. It does brave things. Like Pan, is a child, but they infected her with some virus that turned her almost into a robot. That's freaking awesome. And how it ends with baby Vegeta and Goku going Super Saiyan 4. That's a cool ass moment. And I just wish the rest of GT was like that, because guess what Toei follows it up with the Super 17 arc, which is the worst of Dragon Ball GT. Kill it with fire. I wish there was a lesser category here so I can kill it even more. Yeah, that's the worst of GT. And luckily GT rebounds a bit. And we have the Dragon arc, which is okay. One thing I appreciate about the the dragon arc is it it moves along. Like there's obviously filler in it, but it finishes how it should, and that's cool. Okay, now we get into Dragon Ball Super. And it's something I appreciate. The Battle of Gods. It's good. The movie's pretty great. But the anime is not as good as the movie. I should say Toyotaro relies too heavily on Emperor Pilaf, and I'm wondering honestly if that's a bit of an FU to GT, because Pilaf started GT with his wish. But with the Pilaf stuff, that ruins it a lot. There are other good stuff about the Battle of Gods arc in the anime, even, because like the Bulma Vegeta stuff's fantastic. The Whis and Beerus stuff, fantastic. More of that, please. Okay, Resurrection F arc. Kill it with fire. Needs to not exist like ever, please. Animation is the worst of all of Super by far, but luckily it was so bad it made Super fix its own problems, gave itself a bit of a filler arc for them to catch up and really fix their problems. Okay, Universe 6 and Universe 7, it's okay. Oh, you know what though? Okay. Here's what's gonna boost stuff to good. 6 and 7's okay, because the first part of it's bad. Like Boo falling asleep, taking the test is dumb. The Piccolo fight with the Frieza, whatever his name is. What is his name? Frost, yeah, bad. Botamo, dumb. Them trying to do the Final Flash thing again with the lava spewing robot. Gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Also bad. But the hit stuff, great. Goku Kaioken. That, for me, when Goku went Kaioken as Super Saiyan Blue, is when the show was like, oh, we're going to turn this franchise around. Here we go. Of course, false victory, though. I also like the Monaka twist. That was fun. False victory, though, because then we get this stuff with Kill with Fire. Even Brian Drummond is gooey Vegeta doesn't save it. For those of you who don't know, from the Canadian dub, which I just remembered a second ago. It's late, that's why I'm not remembering. From the original Canadian dub, where you have the original Silva 9000. Brian Drummond's the guy who did that Vegeta, and happy they brought him back for that. Okay, Future Trunks arc. It's pretty great. The beginning of it is fantastic, especially the episode. My favorite episode of all of Dragon Ball Super is episode 1 of the Future Trunks arc, because it was not afraid to redefine itself. And Trunks running around like it's Terminator 2 trying to escape for his life, cool. And then at the very end of the episode, we see Goku Black killing Bulma. Of all people, Goku and Bulma, the two people you meet in the first episode of Dragon Ball. Oh, so emotional. And then there's some fantastic fight scenes. The Vegito fight's cool. It's not long enough, but it's cool. Trunks' big moment with the sword, excellent. I like how he beat a villain with a sword, instead of like how villains are always beating Dragon Ball with a spirit bomb. But it didn't know how to end. Although I do appreciate the question arising of, is there a Zeno for every timeline? And does that mean the Grand Priest, like all the other angels, aren't affected by timelines? So why does Zeno get affected by timelines, but the angels and the Grand Priest don't? Really interesting concept that they're introducing here. I just wish, again, that they knew how to end it. The big Zamasu in the sky was pretty weak. The Tournament of Power is pretty great. The filler in it though is exhausting. Just at some moments, especially like when we get to the points where in the anime we're like eliminating like Tien and Android 18 and like Piccolo. It's like, gosh, these are characters we've been watching for over 500 episodes, and you're just gonna do them like that. So yeah, that's when I drop it from perfection down to great. But Goku and all of his Ultra Instinct moments, especially the Kefla one, are amazing, and it really knew how to end the series. And major kudos to that. Broly Saga perfection. I know there are some issues with the movie, but I will just say Toriyama did an amazing job rewriting Broly's origin story and saving the character, really. As beloved as the Z Broly is, he's a ridiculously poorly written character. And Toriyama does him justice with the rewriting, and major bonus points for that. And outside of that, just the 45-minute fight scene in the Gogeta fusion, fantastic. I really hope there's a manga that is written about it, because I would buy that. But yeah, it's fantastic. And I hope they don't do an anime, because they don't need to. Okay. I'm assuming, yeah, this is Moro arc. It's pretty good. Yeah, here's why it's good and not like great. It has so much setup, not enough punchline. Can't come up with a better metaphor off the top of my head, but it's like watching a comedian with this, just telling this great story. You're waiting for the punchline, the joke, and then it comes and it just does not land at all. It was weak as an ending because Toyotaro is like callbacking to stuff that happened throughout all of the series. And then all of a sudden Goku is fighting in his astral form. Something Toyotaro really needs help with is setup. Toriyama is among the best at setup. Look at Dragon Ball, for instance. Like, the motivation of Piccolo is so, original Dragon Ball is so clearly set up following King Piccolo, and they just encapsulate it into like a tournament. And that was fantastic. And that fight there is so impactful because you believe his motivation. There's no setup in Goku all of a sudden becoming a giant, like, astral form Naruto reference. So yeah, that's it for me. That's my tier list. Hope you all enjoyed, and if you haven't yet, go ahead and spot me a like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Later.